Hello YouTube, this is Ryan from Ryan's Journey coming at you with another update. I am officially, actually in about a week, I'll be 9 months post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy. It's been a great journey, kind of a cool ride. But yeah, today is the day that I'm officially calling goal of what my goal is. And that's just the beginning. This is a life journey. So I'm going to get into the numbers a little bit. I haven't did numbers in a while, so we'll start with that. So I started my journey almost a year ago, actually, on November 18th, 2013 is when I first met my surgeon and decided to look into getting this surgery. And at that time, I was about 50-50 if I was going to do it, but decided, research it, start my pre-op diet on my own, and in the end decided to go with the VSG. So from that day, about 3 months later, on February 24th, I had my surgery. I was 294 on that day. So at 294, that was a loss of approximately 32 pounds before surgery. And then since that February 24th, it's been almost 9 months. And as of yesterday, I weighed in at 200.2. So I know I said my goal was going to be 199, and I decided to call it. I feel like I've been at goal for months and been rocking right around 202 to 205, around that range for few months now. And I think that's where I want to stay. I don't want to go any lower. So at 200.2, I'm calling that my official goal. And, someday I might get under 200 a little bit. And even yesterday, I could have got under 200 if I wanted and decided to choose a different path. And I'm going to get into that. So it's definitely worth noting and celebrating getting to 200 pounds, 0.2. I feel like that's a great accomplishment. That is, since I started my journey on November 18th, 2013, a total loss of 125.8 pounds. And since my surgery, about 9 months, that is a loss of 93.8. So really excited about the numbers and the losses and where my health's at this point. Just to recap, the reason why I decided to have surgery initially was because I was having a lot of medical problems. I had been trying for years. My weight had creeped up over the years, and I ended up having sleep apnea for about 7 years. I haven't had to use that machine, the CPAP or BiPAP machine, in probably 5 or 6 months. So that's been amazing, awesome. All my blood results are great. I pretty much can get off every pill I take. We'll probably continue to the low dose of thyroid pill that I take, but for the most part, doing really well health-wise. And I owe it all to my hard work and to the tool that VSG gave me and weight loss surgery gave me. And so yesterday, speaking of the number I got to at 200 pounds, 0.2, I looked in the mirror and in my head, I was like, I just feel like I look too thin. My body, I was naked in the morning, and I don't know, I just felt paranoid. I've had a couple people tell me that I'm getting too thin, and obviously 200 pounds isn't that bad for a 6 foot tall person. But I think that it scared me. It scared me that I might actually get thinner, and I don't want to get any thinner. I don't. I want to get more fit. I want to, build more muscle and reduce body fat. I'm all for that, but I don't want to get much thinner. So that being said, I think that it freaked me out. Freaked me out to the point where I ate crap all day long. Not all day, at times I did. And I've been a little bit sick lately. You might hear in my voice. I had a cold for a few days. I even lost my voice over the weekend, but it's starting to come back around. But yesterday, I ended up having a really small slice of cheesecake, even at work in the break room they had. I had, I did have some leftover steak and salad from the day before, which wasn't too bad. I had some, anyway, just little snacky crackers and stuff type things yesterday. And so my weight did not go down. At 200.2 in the morning, I know that if I would have just really not eaten much and not drank much, I could have came home on my lunch break like I am now on my lunch break making this video. But I could have came home and weighed under that 200 and called 199 point something. But I was just too freaked out. And so I don't really want to go much lower. And I don't even care if I ever see 199. Honestly, I hope I don't. So I know my journey is a little different than some. I know us men have a different thing where sometimes we lose more than we want to, or we don't have the problem where we just can't get off those last 10, 20 pounds, or like some females I see that have struggled. Call it what you want. I'm going to get a little bit into some the great part about that, and the great part about this whole journey for me and the weight loss surgery in just a moment. But I wanted to really talk about the fear of losing too much weight, and it definitely is real for me at times. I definitely have to try to get the weight in, especially if I'm not lifting the weights and drinking the protein at a strong point. In the last few weeks, I haven't. My gym membership that I go 2 months at a time. It ended, and I've been doing more jogging and things like that. And I'm in the process of moving, um, and which is a whole nother video. And where I'm moving to, they have a gym and a pool, and so I'm going to try to focus on that, which should be very convenient and actually super helpful for my exercising. And so when I get in there, so I'm in this kind of a limbo mode, and I haven't been lifting as much and drinking as much protein. Um, so those fears creep in, and I have to really do enough calories. And I've talked to my doctor about this. See, I've always ate reasonably healthy, even during my heavy days. I would, I'd get off track and things like that, definitely. But I would just eat too fast, and I would eat too much quantities. That was my biggest problem. So now I want to go back and eat more proteins and more chicken and steak and pork and vegetables and salads. That's something I really like. And I do that, but I can't eat that much proteins. Salmon, for example, fish. I love fish. I can only do so much proteins at a time before I get full. And I think over time that should expand just enough where I can get in more protein as far as the restriction. But so since I can only get so much proteins in, not counting protein shakes, of course, but as far as real foods, which I try to incorporate as much as I can, I have to incorporate calories other ways that aren't as healthy and are more carby and are more processed foods. I don't do sodas. I don't do breads too much or tortillas. I do some corn, mostly crunchy, either corn chips or if I have a taco, it's a crunchy kind of corn taco, a shell. So, lowering those things alone and the drinks and then the portion control, that's going to be a success as it is. But I think as time goes on, I'll be able to do more of the foods I like to eat, the proteins, the chickens, still keeping the carbs down. And I feel confident in that. But till then, I think that it's a little bit of a mind F to not lose too much weight. And so we'll see how it goes. I definitely didn't lose weight as of yet when I weighed this morning. It came up a pound or two. So, but that was just after a freak out kind of eat as much calories as I can day. So, but anyway, moving on. Long-term goal range for me. Now, my long-term goal range is 200 to 210. Feel good about that. Really would rather be in the middle to high of that if I had a choice long term. But my doctor's goal was 192 to 200. But she told me last time I met with her, and I was probably 205-ish then, that if I could stay the way I'm at for the rest of my life would be perfect, But I think she wants to stay 190 to 200, so there's that bounce back weight. So that's something I got to be focused on. If I don't want to get in that 190 to 200 range, which I don't, then I need to be a little more mindful of keeping myself that 200 to 210 range and not having a big bounce back as the honeymoon phase ends and what have you. I've been roughly 205, give or take, for maybe 4 or 5 months. I have to look at my Excel sheet. So, my honeymoon phase feels like it's kind of been gone a long time ago. But who's to say? Maybe that's after a year, maybe it's after a year and a half. I have to be mindful of that, which I'm prepared to do. And then the main thing I wanted to talk about today, other than announcing my goal at 200 pounds, is I wanted to talk about control. Control is huge. Let that sink in for a second. Control is what I have now. It's the difference between old Ryan and new Ryan is control. And I remember this quote. I don't know if it's during Biggest Loser or something. They showed this woman that was overweight, and she said out loud, it would show her in the bathroom feeling sad, and it would say out loud, I wake up every morning with hope, and I go to sleep every night with feeling a failure. And I know what that's like. And if you're watching this, you probably have known what that's like, where you think, hey, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do good today, I'm going to eat right today. And then by the end of the day, you eat way too much and things you shouldn't eat, and you feel like a failure. And that almost leads to more bad choices and more bad eating. But that's not the case for me. I have so much control now. This restriction, this tool has given me so much more control. And even though, like, some people say, oh, you can't eat that, you can't eat this. And I went to eat sushi the other day with a friend of mine, and he had a bunch of stuff. I ate 4 pieces of one sushi roll. I took the other 4 pieces back to work and ate on my break. And he's like, oh, and there was a sad, like, that's too bad you can't eat more. But, I'm not sad at all. Even during my saddest moments, which aren't that sad, that I can't eat certain things, this control that I have is unmeasurable. It's unmeasurable. I can't even say the appreciation I have for the amount of control I have in my life with food. That is that has been the one failure in my life. I've done well in other areas, but that's the one place that I would consider a failure over time. And I got excuses. I got genetic issues. I've had injuries from sports. I've had things that have caused me to not be as physically active, and I've had a job where I sit down a lot. So I need the control, and this has given me the control. And so I want to spend the rest of my life, respecting that control and not pushing that control, not pushing my restriction too much to where it stretches out or those things like that. So I would say one thing, if you're new, if you've been around a long time, the control that you get, and if you really use it the right way, it can be the best tool you can ever have. And so I wish I had more words to explain how important that control is for me and how important it is probably for you. But I can just tell you that it's changed my life and has really given me a chance to have an amazing life and to find my happiness and have control over my life, not just my eating. So great things. Food. I want to touch on food a little bit here. Now, it's important to me to eat things and to have a food that I eat that is more for long-term success. I don't want to have 6 months to a year of drinking protein shakes and eating chicken breasts with cheese on it and never touching a cracker or never having a processed carbohydrate, because that's not realistic long term for me. I think my eating will adapt and I'll probably learn more healthier things and I'll be able to maybe find recipes and cook as I have along the way and different things. But I need to be able to have little cheating things, whether that's a few bites of ice cream here and there, whether that's, a I'm not a big sweet person, so that has never been a big issue, but if I have, like yesterday, I had a piece of cheesecake, a really small piece. Those are little things that I can do to enjoy. If I want to have some Cheez-It crackers one day, I will. If I want to dip some Frito chips in some nacho cheese, I'm going to do that from time to time, but it's going to be in moderation. It's not going to be all the time, and I need to have those times when I do that. You guys out there, maybe you can't do that. Maybe restriction, maybe your mental ability to not go too far with that isn't where you want it to be. But for me, I have to, because I want to be a long-term success. So I need to make sure I can dabble in a little of those things within reason and moderation and not fail. So that's huge for me. I don't think everybody agrees with that. So, do things at your own pace. Track as much as you can. I don't. I have an idea. I'm mindful. And if I ever get to a point where things get out of control, maybe I got to start tracking. Maybe I got to do those things. And I'm willing to adapt and adjust to how I eat, what I eat, how I track it as I go. But for now, I want to be able to not have to think about it and just go through life, go even to a restaurant and a work function with a friend, whatever, and not have to have some huge elaborate adjustment to the menu or something to accommodate me. Most things I can order. I might eat a little bit. Probably I take stuff home a lot, and I don't mind leftovers, so it works out. But it's very important to me to eat things, go off plan sometimes, but know I get right back on track and have that control to have long-term success with food. So that's a little bit of something I wanted to touch on based on some things I've seen in some other videos recently. But overall, doing great, feeling great, healthy as I've ever been, lowest adult weight, I think I can officially call that, and feeling good. So thank you guys again for all your support. I've been trying to catch up on some videos of many of you out there and post comments when I can. Keep making the videos. Those of you thinking to have surgery, consult with the right people and make it happen, because it'll change your life for the positive. And until next time, you guys all have a great day. Peace.